So, the truth comes out. Ends up, I'm not a dedicated fan of The Wizard of Oz. You just literally have to ignore everything around me. Hello, fellow Ozians, and welcome to the channel. Sometimes the Oz fandom can be a weird place. Recently, I had a conversation with a fellow fan that had an interesting turn to it. By complete accident, through our very brief conversation, this individual found out that I was also a fellow Oz fan. And the weirdness of the conversation pretty much started from the beginning. I introduced myself as an Oz fan. And they didn't like that terminology. They wanted me to say that I was a Wizard of Oz fan. I know, not a great start when you instantaneously get corrected. So anyways, they then told me that they had recently been to the Sphere to see the new Wizard of Oz experience. And naturally, I was very excited to hear what their response was. They told me that the show was spectacular and sometimes overwhelming. They also mentioned that they bought merchandise from the merch store for the experience. So, naturally, I asked them if they had bought the more expensive tickets so that you could actually purchase things from that store. Their response was very interesting, in that they told me that I was wrong, because anybody can buy from the store. But that's not how all the tickets are. Anyways, what was interesting about this conversation and where it went to was that it was obvious from at least their demeanor and the way that they were talking about things that they were doing the lovely, awful thing of comparison. How much of an Oz fan am I really? Well, a real Oz fan would have gone to the Sphere. Okay. There are plenty of Oz locations that I have never been to. Does that mean I'm no longer an Oz fan? Absolutely not. But what was funny about this conversation was how fandom sometimes feels the need to play the comparison game. Why must we do this? I simply don't understand. Back when I was in Louisiana, this sort of thing also happened to me, where some individuals would tell me, "Oh, The Wizard of Oz." Well, you'll never have the appreciation for that movie that I did when I had to wait an entire year to see it, whereas you can pick up a VHS and simply watch it whenever you want. Okay. That one used to happen to me quite often with individuals, especially in Louisiana, that were obviously older and had grown up with the annual TV airings of The Wizard of Oz. Now, The Wizard of Oz is not a movie that I particularly watch that often anymore. The last time that I actually saw The Wizard of Oz, that was documented on this channel. That was in theaters a full year ago. I try to keep that film something that I don't watch that often so that it still feels fresh and special. And if you like watching The Wizard of Oz more often than that, there's nothing wrong with that. But that's just how I do it. Anyways, this is not something that happens often for me. Meeting up with fans is something that I really love to do. I really love hearing what people's interests are, what brought them to Oz, why they like it. All of those things are really fun to hear. It's just not fun whenever people start playing the comparison game and telling you that you just don't measure up. Have you ever had an experience like this where you met someone for the first time and they just had to tell you how much you're just never gonna measure up to where they're at? Let's have a discussion down in the comments section. And if you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. New videos are posted every 2 weeks on the 15th and last day of each month. And if that doesn't satisfy your appetite for Oz, follow the link in the description to ozclub.org and join the International Wizard of Oz Club. Until next time, bye y'all.